Howdy y'all, I'm Anna with Always Right, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my quarter 3 goals. We're going to be going over how I did on my quarter 2 goals, and I'll be sharing my TBR list for this quarter. Spoilers, some of the books from last quarter's TBR are in this quarter's TBR as well. First, let's talk about quarter 2 goals. Now, if you're kind of confused why I'm using like quarters, it's just kind of a business term. For example, quarter 1 is January through March. It's the first 3 months of the year. Quarter 2 is April through June, so the next 3 months. And quarter 3 is going to be July through September. And then of course, quarter 4 is like October through December. It's just an easy way to group together months. So with that little explanation out of the way, let's get into how I did on my quarter 2 goals. So I have them here, let's look at them. One of my big goals for quarter 2 was to have the first draft of Ashes completely done. So to have the first draft for Ashes written, ready to be edited going into quarter 3. That did not happen. I had a health revelation like in May. I was able to get to about the 25-ish% mark before I hit kind of like a roadblock because I didn't know how to approach this very difficult like scene. Since then I have come up with a way to manage it, to handle it, to write it. But for Ashes I only got through the first 20-25% of it, so I did not meet that goal. Sad face, I know. My second goal was to get to the midpoint turn in my second draft of Feathers. Now, for Feathers, I totally restarted like the second draft. I've restarted the second draft like 3 or 4 times just in the last like 6 months. It's been a problem, but I'm very happy, very satisfied with my most recent rewrite and my most recent restart of Feathers. Unfortunately for me, I've only made it like 3 to 5% through. It's a very solid 3 to 5%, but because of like a health issue I talked about in this video here, I was not able to spend a lot of time writing. So for my writing goals, I did not meet them. But for my reading goal of reading 14 books, I did achieve that and go a little beyond it. So originally my goal was basically to read like 2 books a month, aka to read 25 books in the year of 2021. I saw in the first quarter that I was like chugging through books and I was like, oh wait, I can actually do this. Like I can probably do 50 books in a year. That's why I set my goal of 14 books, was so I could get to that like 25 book mark within the first 2 quarters of the year, the first half of the year. And I actually read 17 books. My next goal was to plant bulbs, gardening goal, aka. I achieved that. I have almost all my bulbs planted. I have like 24 glad bulbs that I need to plant, but those are going in the front of my house. And the thing about glads is they'll be good next year, so if I don't get them planted, it won't be the end of the world for them. They'll be fine. Also, those glad bulbs weren't in the original like goal list of bulbs, because the goal list of bulbs were the plants that you see here right now. It was like my peacock orchids, it was my extra peonies I had ordered, and it was some lilies, and some other like strange plants that I've never heard of before, but I bought them in a bundle and they sounded pretty. Then my next gardening goal was to finish my garden, aka like mulch my garden. As you saw in that footage, I achieved it. And my last goal for gardening was to maintain my lawn, and my lawn is doing really well. We've had a lot of rain, especially in June we had a lot of rain. We've had quite a bit of rain in July. Now on to my work goals for quarter 2. I had 3 work goals. I didn't achieve any of them. My work goals actually shifted around May, but my work goals were to have new roofs on all 3 of my properties, to have new windows in all 3 of my properties, and to have my aesthetic queen property up on the market. None of that has happened. Instead, my goals kind of shifted to applying for a grant, getting a grant, working with an architect, and I've done that. I've retained my architect. He has all the measurements. He's working on blueprints for my houses. They look absolutely amazing. I am so excited. But by bringing in the architect and applying for that grant, which I got, luckily I'm like really excited about that, but by doing that, I have kind of shifted those goals to much later in the year. And then my last general goal was to paint my dresser that I got out of one of my properties. Okay, so for that dresser, I've sanded it, I've primed it. I need to go in with some wood glue to kind of sturdy up some of the joints and just kind of make sure that the drawers stay together, if you will, and just need to put 2 coats of paint on it. I'm basically done with it. I'm really hoping to get it done this week. We'll see, we'll see. Those were my quarter 2 goals. So let's get into the quarter 3 goals. First, let's start with my writing goals for quarter 3. I want to have the second drafts for Feathers done. I don't know how, like, achievable this is, so it's a goal. I have the book plotted. It's just getting the brain power, getting the energy, getting the time to just sit down and write it. My next goal is to get to like the midpoint turn for Ashes. I don't know how likely it is that I'll achieve both of these, but if I can achieve one of these, I would be very happy. That's why I have both of them listed. It's just like a and/or situation. My reading goal is to read 12 books. So my annual goal is to read 50. I've read 28 so far, so I want to kind of take it easy, basically. Just do 1 a week, you know, just. But I do want to read 12 books this quarter. I've done the math. I have 22 books left for this entire year before I like hit my goal. So that leaves me where I could do like 11 books this quarter, 11 books the 4th quarter, but I'm gonna aim for 12. I think it's a good number. I think it's healthy. I think we can do it. A gardening goal is like really simple. It's like keep things happy, keep things growing, just keep things alive basically. I think I can do that. For work, my work goals have really kind of downshifted. They're not so like, yeah, we're gonna redo the whole houses, woo! No, it's like get a new roof on my aesthetic queen. That's one of my goals, is to have a new roof on her. It's gonna be an interesting roof, hopefully. I'm looking forward to it. And to kind of fulfill my grant. So I just want to spend all the money that I receive from the grant, document it, send it back to the fund where I got the grant from, and just be done with it. Not have to worry about it, like going into quarter 4. Just done, be happy. My next to last goal is to paint my dresser. I'm really hoping to do it this week. I just really need it, especially switching into like my summer wardrobe. I would like to have some of those clothes just readily available, just there, easy, without having like a lot of issues. And my last goal is my channel goal, and that is to get to 500 subscribers. I really hope I can get this one. I'm at $497, $498. I'm in that like price range. So I need like 2 more subs to hit my goal. And once we hit this 500 goal, I will do like a Q&A. So it'll be fun, I know. Yay, because you don't get enough of me already. That's it for my goals. So I have like my physical TBR, and then I have like my Libby TBR, like my audiobook TBR. But I'm just gonna go through the physical books that I have because I feel like that would be easier. So let's get started. One book on my TBR is Ariadne. Pretty sure I said it right that time. By Jennifer Saint. I got this like back in May, I think. And it's at the bottom of my TBR for like this quarter, but I do want to read it. It sounds very interesting. I've kind of pumped the brakes on my Book of the Month subscription. I'm still subscribed, just the last 2 months the books just haven't been it for me, if you know what I mean. So there's that one. Next is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is a mermaid kind of YA, it looks like a horror thriller, interesting book. I've had this for a little while. Next up is World War Z by Max Brooks. I've heard really good things about it. I actually just watched the new Chris Pratt movie. I think it's called like The Tomorrow's War. And they had some elements that really reminded me of World War Z, made me want to watch World War Z. So it's also made me really want to read World War Z. So she's gonna get read. I don't know if it'll be like this month or next month, but she's close to the top of my list. Next up is The Ivies by Alexa Dunn. Oh wow. I bought this like the week it came out. I've been getting more into thrillers, been getting more into mysteries, so I'm excited for this. And it's not too long, which I'm really thankful for. Like, I have some books that are like 400 plus pages. Just looking at them and I'm like, why? Next is Omnivores by Lydia Millette. This is actually her first book. You know, I made that big deal about like the George Bush Dark Prince of Love book. Thought that was her first one. This is her first one, and this is also the one that got nominated for the Pulitzer Prize. I don't know if I'm going to do like a reading vlog about it. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm very excited about it. I think it's really cute. It's pretty old. It's from 1996. This is definitely like the oldest book on my TBR, and it's pretty close to the top of my TBR. Next up is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. And I have been eyeing this book for so long. It was in a mystery bag at my Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I think I know what this book is, and I've been wanting to buy it, but I could never remember the name, so I bought it, and I was right. It was the book I thought it was. So I'm really excited to read this. I have her Spinning Silver book on my Libby TBR, and my last book on my physical TBR is Hollow by B. Castling. He's the author of The Boar. It's supposed to be really surreal. It's really small font. It looks intimidating as hell. It's at the top of my list because if I don't like it, I'll just go to World War Z. I straight up saw this at Barnes & Noble when I was getting Uprooted, that book, and like the Three Dark Crowns book. And I could not get this idea or this cover out of my mind. So that's why I bought it, and here she is. Anyway, my camera's dying, so that's it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and as always, let's get writing. Bye!